Hot dang, let's do this. I finally figured out. Dang, I hope everything's working well. So let me know if you can see me. Let's move this around here. Let's move this down. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, this isn't working. All right, so we'll move it. Ooh, can I move it behind the screen? I can. Look at that. That's really nice. Check it out. You see everything going on. I hope everyone is doing well today. I hope that you can hear me. Everything's going fine. It looks a little shaky, but it's all right. All right, so let's do this. First off, a few things to mention. What was my first thing to mention? My first thing to mention was Chris is sick from the expandeduniverse.com. That's why the poll hasn't gone up, but I guarantee you we're going to work on that immediately, and that means me. We're all screwed. I'm gonna figure out a way to get it running. So we'll have it all up and running. We'll get that going. So that'll be fun. Also, man, I forgot I posted a review today. So there won't be any posts Saturday then, since this was supposed to count as a video. That's cool. What else I have for you? Oh, I'm reviewing as board games. I'm reviewing some of the misses board games, which is going to be kind of funny. But anyway, let's get to some of your questions that you sent to me on the monthly update. So, Brendan, you asked 1,000,000,000 questions. Let's do it. Even though you lost interest in the game, do you familiarize yourself with the story of KOTOR? Not as well as I know the general storyline, but I haven't. Online on YouTube, I know someone has cut out and done all the video movie portions of it for that and the Old Republic. I just need to watch them. I haven't done that yet, but I should one day. My favorite droid. Didn't we talk about this? I think it was Blue Max and Bullocks. What makes something Star Wars to you? And I don't mean in terms of the name. I mean stories, canon, story tone, etc. Okay, why does the expanded universe feel like, you know what, Brandon? Hold on just a moment. I don't even know why I didn't write this down beforehand, but that is a question for a Matt chat. That's a great question. What makes a story feel like Star Wars? All right, so I'm gonna answer that on the Matt chat in a couple of weeks. I got some, but I like that one. Give me more time to think about that. Did you just? Oh, you put these on today. That's why I didn't see that one. I was like, I don't remember seeing that one yesterday, but it was posted today. All right, Q&A. In X-Wing Alliance, we see that Vader has an email address. What email would you send him? Give me more legends. Brandon says, if you could have one force power, what would it be? Be to levitate things, maybe? No, call things to you. What's that? Telekinesis? What would you do if they announced a new Legends book and it was written by Chuck Wendig? We've talked about this before. I don't care who writes it. I mean, if it's new Legends, I'll get it and, cross my fingers, hope it'll be good. Would you be a Jedi Guardian, Counselor, or Sentinel? I guess a Guardian. I guess. I don't know. Do you think technology regressed at some point in Star Wars? Well, that's the problem with sci-fi. That's why I didn't like the Old Republic, because they didn't look that much different than what we have right now. So there must not be that many inventors in the Star Wars universe. It's very limited to growth. And I was very disappointed in Dawn of the Jedi. I mean, they didn't have hyperspace, but that was it. I mean, Jedi still had lightsabers. I wanted to see the power pack lightsaber, where it's hooked up to their backpack, like in the Ralph McQuarrie drawings. I even thought that should have been something they put in Old Republic, to be honest. But that was my problem with the Old Republic. It looked like everything was the same. Nothing has really changed in the past thousands, 10,000 years, which I was kind of disappointed at. So yeah, there's that. That's a big error within Star Wars as the franchise. Do you think they'll introduce Revan into the Disney Star Wars? Maybe make him a woman. I don't care. There is an EU character. There is an EU character they killed off, and I'm not going to say who, but I'm sure you know. But they didn't tell the original creator, and he was very affected by it. Meaning, Zahn was pissed. What with that in mind, do you think they should have to clear it with the original author before they kill off a character? Absolutely not. They shouldn't. Look, every character wrote their stuff over to Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm controls them. Zahn said that now. He was pissed about Mara J dying, but tough cookies, man. He didn't even want to write for the New Joe Order era. And the person who decided it made sense for the storyline. So, boo hoo. There's a lot of authors that would have been upset that their characters died, but to be honest, you can kill or kill them off or keep them going. It doesn't matter because after the creator's done with them, you can do whatever you want, in my opinion. Now, I think it is nice to, if you're writing someone else's character, I know the authors have done this at times, is to say, hey, do you mind if I use your character for this? I've seen them do that, but that's a courtesy. There's no rule about that. Killing off someone's character, ouch. But if it's approved by Lucasfilm, go right ahead, which they did approve that one. Non-Star Wars question. Matt, have you ever seen, oh, this is Brian C's question, Bates Motel, and what did you think about it? You know what? I've never seen it, but the missus loves Bates Motel, so she is a big fan. If she were here, I'd bring her. Well, she wouldn't even come on camera, but she would be off camera. Maybe she would tell us about it. Let's see here. Brendan, do you think Disney Lucasfilm will eventually do what is logical and officially adopt Star Trek's policy that all books and comic book games, anything that's not in the movie or in the show is not canon? Maybe they don't want to. They've stayed pretty firm on not wanting to be that way because they know the uniqueness of the EU. Here's the thing. They appreciate the uniqueness of the EU, but at the same time, they want to recreate that magic with the fans, and it's not working, is it? It's not working that well at all. So they're trying to recreate that same magic that they used to have, and I don't think they're going to go that way because then, Star Trek books don't really sell that much. Why? Because people know they're non-canon. Okay, I mean they sold for a little while, maybe. I'm sure they've sold in spurts, but they never sold as well as the Star Wars books, and that's because they're not canon. So they know that's a way they can sell, they can market the books. I don't think they will want to do that, in my opinion. They could turn around and change their mind tomorrow, but I don't think they'd want to do that. Do you think it's a good idea to have multiple authors writing for the same series of books? Yes, I do. I like that. It helps the books come out in a more timely manner. We don't have big delays. Like New Joe Order, you get about 3 authors. Now you could get more if you wanted to, and they would just kick that can down the road and pass the story along. I think that works well because the books come out faster. So I like that method. That's me personally. I personally think when Lucas vetoed the Eva Obi-Wan clone idea, Zahn should have made Sabaoth a clone. I think it was pointless and kind of dumb. He should have just been the actual Sabaoth. Agree or disagree? Well, I mean, we haven't gotten to Throne Trilogy yet, but that's part of the story that he is kind of crazy. So that it's his clone. I get it. And plus, I don't know. I kind of like that idea. I mean, yeah, I warned it first. I said, why can't it be the original one? But I like the idea of it being a clone. So I have to defend Zahn on that one. I think that was a good choice there. All right. Do you think that Kyle has a similar problem with Rey in that he is able to learn to use the Force and be a Jedi without training and can even defeat Jarek, an experienced Dark Jedi, or you said Jed, which I'm sure you meant Jedi, who has already begun to absorb the Valley's power? Brendan, I smiled when I read that one. You're right. You're right. What? Oh, no. How horrible. How horrible. That is a great analogy there. I'll have to look back into that, but you're right. Kyle did grab his power really quick. So, should that, and I'm going to take a drink here. Should that be, or would that be considered kind of like the problem we have with Rey? Let me be some study on that. But from right now, from what I can think off the top of my head, you're exactly right. He went from zero to superpower. It's like he was the Highlander, grabbing each one. The darker, the easy dark Jedi he probably could have beat, but then as it got harder, and you're right about Jarek at the end. So, yeah, but remember, this is written out as a video game. Brandon, that's a great what's it called? View or insight, I should say. Insight. There's the word. Insight, and I will definitely take that into consideration when I review that book. Very interesting. Steven said I would totally wear a Matt's Expanded Universe t-shirt. Yes. my wife, I told her that. She went, oh my gosh, you're gonna do that? And then she came back, she went, I would wear one if you did that. Everyone loves t-shirts. All right, so Josh Farr has a few questions for me. If Legends is continued and they decide not to resurrect a character or two, would you lose interest in the EU and not want to read anymore? If they do resurrect a character, then that means it's not Legends. It's a different story, and I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the old expanded universe storyline, the C canon storyline. And they can make as many of the new comic books and books as they want to, but if they can make those, but I'm not going to be interested in them until it's, old expanded universe. Then I'd be interested. But even a play off of that, like, okay, we're going to change things and bring back a few characters. Bleh. No, that's what comic books do. I'm reading one of your, I don't think this is he has an idea for an EU story that would be set in Dawn of the Jedi era, a sequel to the book Into the Void. The HoloNet is pretty new, and there's a man using it to report on a Jedi Ranger. The Jedi Ranger doesn't like the way he's reporting and writing about and tells him this. And he doesn't like this, so he tries to use the HoloNet and everybody else to try to learn about her. The author I'd get for this book would be Chuck Wendig. Get it? You said on a podcast a few days ago with Dylan and Jeremy. Whoa, you listen to the podcast. I'm kidding. That you heard something disturbing about Troy Denny and Kevin J. Anderson. What were they? Oh, Dylan and Jeremy's. Okay. Not disturb. Well, I probably did say disturbing. No, I did. Troy Denning. Troy Denning blocked someone. Troy Denning made a statement that was incorrect. It was some kind of whatever. It didn't have to do with Star Wars. It was something else. It was a political thing. And someone said, actually, Troy, that's not correct. If you look here, this is what they actually said, and blah, blah, blah. And then that person got blocked. Like, Troy didn't even want to hear it. And I'm like, wait, what? Now, the Troy Denning I talked to seemed to be a really cool, laid-back guy, not someone who will block someone just because you disagree with him or just because you point out he's wrong, which he was wrong in it, and it's okay to be wrong, okay? It's totally fine to be wrong. But I didn't like that he did that. That was kind of weird. And then Kevin J. Anderson did one. I love Kevin J. Anderson, but he did one where we were at a Comic-Con, and the people in front of me, they named their kids Jaina and Jason. And they said, we did it after the young adult books that we really loved. We read them all the time as kids, and we want to name our kids Jaina and Jason after the characters you made them. I mean, you didn't create the names, but the characters you made were the characters we loved. He said, oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And then they said, oh, we're so sorry that they did away with the canon, though. And then he responds, well, those stories really didn't matter to us anyway. We knew they were going to change them. I mean, they could change whatever they want us to. It really didn't matter. We knew they weren't that important. Kevin, they just said they named their kids after characters you developed. Don't say that. Don't say that. He was trying to backpedal on it and say, we don't mind that. They weren't that important. It's whatever Lucasfilm wanted to do with it. Hey, the missus is here. Maybe she's going to get on. You want to get on, missus?
I was just going to say, if he knew that things were going to be different, why didn't the story change?
That's right. Oh, missus is on live. Wow!
That's it. That's all you get.
Wow! Will you come here and sit down, please?
Yes.
There's a question for you.
What's the question?
Did you like Bates Motel? I didn't watch it. You did.
I
Did you?
started the first, was it 2 seasons, 3 seasons?
She started the first 2 or 3 seasons,
And then I just fell behind and haven't caught up.
and
But
then she
it's on
fell
my
behind.
list to catch up.
It's on her to-do list. Catch up there. Okay, then you have a lot of people saying hello to you now.
Hi.
You don't want to sit down? You can sit down and answer these questions.
No, I gotta go work on dancers.
You would be way more. Hey, she's choreographing she is choreographing the what's it called?
Sister Act.
Sister Act, the musical right now. So shut up, Dylan.
What Dylan say?
Nothing.
What Dylan say?
Savage burned by the missus. All right. Let's see. So you said on a podcast a few days ago. Okay, this is it. I heard something. I heard quite a few people talking about how they want Dave Filoni to replace Kathleen Kennedy for some reason. I feel like it would be bad for the EU movement. What do you think? What do you think, Mrs.?
What's the question?
Do you think Dave Filoni should replace Kathleen Kennedy?
No, I think there needs to be a woman writer in the Star Wars universe.
Okay, I don't think you know what you're talking about. Kathleen Kennedy.
About.
Please sit down and do this. I would love to hear your question and your answers to these questions. I don't know
this stuff now.
That's what makes it fun.
I only pretend to know because that's something you're interested in.
Yay! Pretend.
No. I want to eat dinner.
Okay, well, come back and sit down if you want to.
Now, if you want to talk about Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, yeah. If you got Sons of Anarchy questions, she's all for it. What season is Jax the cutest in?
What? That's not a question.
Yeah, that's a question that Dylan just asked.
Dylan has not asked that question.
I'm sorry, Jeremy asked it.
Jeremy did not ask that question.
Oh, yeah. Dilly, dilly.
You're so annoying.
Oh, mercy me. Oh, mercy me. Why does the... All right. So, anyway. All right, so let me get back to these questions. Okay, I'm hearing quite a few people talking about the news. Okay, Dave Filoni. I know I'm going to get this question. I know he did an episode about time travel. Boo, boo, boo. Time travel ruins everything. For me, the new canon is a joke, if that's true. Time travel should never exist. Remember, time travel, the only time we have a time travel, they fast forwarded to the future. They could never go back, but they charged to the future. And so that was different, in my opinion. I was glad because I was scared for a minute. I was like, man, if you can go back in time, then everything is pointless. Time travel, while it's a really cool, neat thing, makes everything pointless. Star Trek knew how to time travel, so why didn't they time travel back in every single movie, not just 4, in every single movie and resolve the problem before it became a big problem? Why not, after every battle, go back in time and replay it and save people? It totally defeats the purpose of a story when you bring in time travel. It was ridiculous reading those comments. And that's why everyone's thinking, oh, he's a brilliant man. He invented time travel. And, you know, they won't, I'm not sure that's how they talk, but, and Kathleen Kennedy wants to do, you know, Dave Filoni they want him to replace Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, please no, please no. Now that time travel, everything's possible. Seriously, someone said we could bring back Luke, we can bring back Han. Ooh, they can make new stories about them. Then it'd be a teetotal mess and garbage. Seriously, if they had done that in the old canon, I would have been sick. I would have been absolutely sick. So happy that's new canon. And no, before you ask, that's not a way to connect the legend. Someone says, now they said the legends were true. Now we know why. It was time travel. It was like the Spock from the new Star Trek movies, you know, how they reset canon and everything. No. Have you ever met Shannon McRandall? No. If you would ever want, if so, would you ever want to have her on to be on a Q&A or something? I'd love to have her on the podcast. So yeah, hopefully when she gets better, if she is better, she's ready to come anytime. I'd love to interview her. I think she'd be fun. What is your favorite Bantam Era story, trilogy, series, or individual novel and post Jedi era? Bantam Era? I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Uh, let's keep moving. Let's keep rolling here. Hold on. I know I got some more questions on here. Where did they go? Dark Novia sent questions, and Dark Novia, I can't see them. I guess I should have wrote them down. I know you put them down somewhere. And so usually I write them down, but today I did not. I was lazy. All right, let's see what we got. Whoa, lots of stuff going on here. Okay, here we go. Nightwing, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were about to go to bed. I should go earlier, right? That spring forward, man, that ruined me, man. I'm still tired from today. When you first started this channel, what did you hope to accomplish, Senator? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. If you're talking about the very first time, I was just goofing off. And then I wanted to put some board game reviews on there. And then I did Star Wars. Now, what did I want to accomplish with Star Wars? First off, with the expanded universe, I wanted to show everyone, because there was a billion fake news articles about the expanded universe being, oh, it's really this. It was never considered canon. It was what else did they say? It was never considered canon. It was all contradictive and all these little stories about it. I was like, that's not true. None of that's true. How can that not be true? So then I decided to go ahead and just do my own video about it, just to kind of set the record straight. And then I felt like I had to keep doing it. After 3 videos, I thought I was going to stop. And then all of a sudden, I had people watching me, and they were asking me this and that. I was like, well, here, I'll give you tons of quotes if that's what you want. I used to do these debates all the time on the Star Wars forums. And on the Star Wars forum, just every day, just about, I'd get on there, and I was debating canon and stuff like that. Just ridiculous stuff now when you think about it. But I had these quotes, and so I just started giving them all out there. And then it came to a point where, as you guys know, I hate repeating myself. So I didn't want to repeat myself and say the same thing over and over again. And plus, no one was going through the entire expanded universe in chronological order. And that's something I really wanted. All the short stories, all the comic books, every kitty books, everything you can imagine. And I wanted that. And no one was doing that. And I was like, well, I may as well go ahead and do that because I don't want to repeat myself. I'll just go ahead and start doing that. So right now, the goal is just to educate. Well, I've already educate people on the expanded universe and pique people's interest in it. I want people to encourage more people to try out the expanded universe, to read the expanded universe books, to see what they are. And man, I get the question every week, just about. I get the question, hey Matt, new to expanded universe, what book should I start off reading? I love those questions. I love those questions. And then sometimes they give me choices on what they should read, and I'll make suggestions, and they can follow it or they can't. It doesn't matter to me. As long as they're reading something in the expanded universe, man, I'm happy. I feel like I did my job. I don't even care if they like the books and stuff that I don't like. What if they like? A billion people, folks, love Karen Travis's Republic Commanders. A billion people. I was in the minority. Now, for some reason on my channel, I'm not in the minority. Maybe you guys just all agreed with me. Where were you in the forums back in the day? But no, it's fine. But I was afraid, man, when I make these reviews, people are going to hate me. They're going to hate me for hating Karen Travis's books. But there are some people who did say, well, man, I actually did love those books. And that's completely fine. I am completely all right with you liking, what was one that got people upset? Shatterpoint. Didn't like Shatterpoint. Someone's begging me to reread it, which, I mean, eventually I will. But he thinks I'll like it when I reread it because maybe it's just the time. I just didn't like it. He told me a story where he was reading a book that he didn't like at first. He reread it again and decided he liked it. So what was the other one? Oh, Dawn of the Jedi. No, Red Harvest. Someone said they liked Red Harvest, and they gave me the reason. I'm totally fine with that. Folks, when I give a bad review on a book or comic book, that doesn't mean it's bad. Matt says it's bad, so I will not read it. No, go ahead, check it out. Maybe you'll see something different. Maybe you're like, Matt, I don't see why anyone would hate this story. And that's fine. You can come back at me with it. I am totally fine with people not liking the same excuse me, stories that I like in the expanded universe. But you know, even though I give a bad review for a book, still try it out. I mean, could be good. Maybe other people think it's good. All right, so hi, Jimmy. Will says, how much do I love the new season of Jessica Jones? I am unsure if I'm going to watch that. I hated season 1. I despised Jessica Jones. Bruce is on the podcast, Prince of the Universe. Bruce is probably going to make me watch it just because he wants to talk about something on the podcast. And Jessica Jones is out. And the Tick season's out. So I need to watch both of those, I guess. I don't know, though. Jessica Jones, I'm not going to be happy about. Could Count Dooku have been a double agent? No, X-Ray, I think he was bad through and through. I don't think he had a speck of goodness in him, even at the end. He was always kind of vain to start off with, but I don't think so. Twin Sons fundraiser. Only $600 from their goal. Come on, folks. Let's get them to that goal. Get them to that goal. Hey, and if you're shopping through Amazon.com, make sure to go to Amazon Smile and donate to Twin Sons that way. It's totally free. You still get the same stuff, except they get a portion of your sale. But go ahead. Go to their fundraiser on their website and donate. Do you think maybe Disney will do some sort of DC rebirth type thing, connect the two continuities? I hope not, Daniel. Personally, I'm fine with them being separate. I'm totally fine with that. I don't think they should connect. I think they should be separate. I think even the new canon has made a lot of mistakes, according to some people, or from what I see, the time travel is a terrible mistake. But they should go their own way. They should go their own way. They and then let the old expanded universe storyline go its way. I don't think they should connect them. That's me. Have you read the Sword of Truth series? No, I haven't. Heard good things though. Do you? Yeah, Will's the one who's been telling me about it. That's true. So Will is Bruce's brother, by the way. Did you see the Dark Tower movie and what'd you think of it? No, I did not see the Dark Tower movie. And as much as I love Stephen King, that movie looked like garbage. I love Matthew McConaughey and the actors who were in it looked good, but the story, I mean, just looked bad, looked terrible. So I couldn't get it. Matt, any marriage advice? Been married, man, for 2 weeks. That's right. Congratulations, Spencer, on your recent marriage there. Any marriage advice? Oh, you know what? Bruce, here's Bruce's marriage advice. If it's an argument and it seems to be unimportant, let it go. Just let it go. That was a good one. Matt, will you stream with Boofire and Mandalore on day to talk about EU and stuff? I don't know who those people are, but sure, if they want me to talk about EU, we can do that. What do you think of Disney's canon having time travel? I just answered that. Well, I mean, you probably asked that before I answered it, George. But yeah, I hate it. I think it's dumb. EU story idea. Serious short stories connecting all 30 plus Dark Lord of the Sith from Bane. The author chooses to be James Luceno. Yeah, that'd be nice. Oh, good catch on eBay there, Stephen. Half of the Jedi Knight series. Which do you consider best? New Jedi Order, Legacy of the Fourth, or Fate of the Jedi? Yes, in that order, probably. New Jedi Order, Legacy of the Force, then Fate of the Jedi. Even though I think they're all grand. EU Legends novels I want are about my favorite Imperials. Admiral Piet definitely deserves his own book. Would you like to see would you like to see villain protagonist books like that? Yes. Oh, I think that'd be awesome. An Admiral Piet book would be cool. Definitely. Do you think you might start reviewing non-Star Wars books? Oh, Brandon. Brandon, you couldn't ask enough questions on the other channel. You had to ask them live. I'm kidding. That's not a bad idea. Could I do other books? I could do, what else have I read? The Wheel of Time series, Bone, the comic books. Oh, those are great books. C.S. Lewis's Space Trilogy, his Narnia Chronicles, the Harry Potter books I've read. I'm just looking at my list here. All the Doom books. Ho, ho, ho. That'd be fun. All the Lord of the Rings and the history of Middle Earth. That'd put you to sleep. But yeah, Spartacus books. What else do I have over there? Jurassic Park and Lost World. I don't know. Maybe. Would that be something you'd be interested in? We'll see. I don't know. That'd be fun. That'd be fun to do. Maybe after I'm done with all this, what's the plan afterwards? Well, folks, I'll be doing top 10 this, top 10 that. I'll be doing some fun. I'll still do EU stories, you know, years later, I guess. But maybe I could put in some yeah, maybe I could do some other book reviews. Anyway, Matt, I'm currently writing fanfic about Arden Lynn. Oh, cool! From Master of the Tyrest Key. Starting with her resurrection, joining the Empire, and turning on Palpatine in collaboration with Zarin. Would you be interested? Sure, John, bring it. Always interested in some fan fiction. Oh, he's including characters from the Adventure Journal, too. Ooh. Have I watched in Nova's 95's Grandmaster ranking video? No, I have not, Stephen. Is it time for the EU Plan B at this point? Eric, EU Plan B. Plan B was something that I talked about way a long time ago where the fans start writing it. And, I mean, yeah, we need some good authors. We need some really good authors. We can do small stories for right now, but the thing is, who is this? This is where authority becomes an issue, because then everyone wants to write their own story. Someone writes a story, and then a bunch of people don't agree with it. Imagine if some of these New Jedi Order books and something were done today, and they killed off a major character like a Mara Jade. Would people be upset? People say that's not my canon. I like the book. I like the fan fiction until it went there. I don't like that. And then you got a bunch of people arguing, and then they all have rights, right? Because it's not canon. The fan fiction kind of is in its own little world in a way. So you have to get something that people would be, it would be an authority that people could trust. The Wizard of Oz series, the Oz Chronicles, that has been something fans have gotten together, written. They don't write much Oz fan fiction, but the stories that they've written about Oz have all kept within a canon. I'm not the expert in this. Joe Bongiorno from StarWarsTimeline.net was telling me about this, but they have a very streamlined and very, you know, I mean, there's a few stories here and there that don't count. They all recognize that, but since it's now public domain, you know, it's open to perception. But there's not that many Oz fans either, so they kind of all adhere to one canon in a way. It's really nice how that works. If the EU fans could all agree, yes, whatever. I mean, I think we could all agree. If Michael Stackpole, just for fun, wrote an X-Wing Wedge story, it was just for fun. It wasn't for Lucasfilm. It is not canon. He even says it's not canon. We would all make that canon, right? Why? Because he is a person of authority. If you have a person in authority, someone maybe who's written Star Wars before, like any of the unpublished stuff I see, if it fits, to me, it's considered canon. All the unpublished Adventure Journal short stories, a lot of the Kenny C. Flint, Heart of the Jedi novel that never came out but got finished. It fits within the canon. So yeah, it would be expanded universe for me. And if someone like a Kenny C. Flint, Michael P. Cube McDowell, Barbara Hamley, someone, you know, who hasn't been writing lately, and they say, you know what, I'm gonna write some Star Wars fan fiction, I would definitely accept that. Why? Because they are a person in authority. So if you had someone in authority writing on it, then yes. But I would much prefer Lucasfilm to push forward and do it, which everyone's hoping would be after episode 9. Remember, that's what they keep saying. At least they want to get the first 3 out. The first the 7, 8, and 9. They want to get that out before they do anything with Legends. I think they're hoping we'll disappear, and they're kind of surprised we're not. And that's why they keep throwing fan service at us. That's why Filoni tried to be all slick with his whole Jason reference. Like, yeah, one reference Jason Solo, EU fans. They have no clue. They have no clue what we want, right? They don't even listen to us. They say, oh, these fans like the EU. They want it back into the canon. No, we don't. You can scream till you're blue in the face, and they just do not listen. We want more stories in the Legends universe, not stories in the new canon. Do old stories in the old expanded universe, old C canon. Give us those stories. In fact, I think it'd be awesome because more Star Wars alternate stories or alternate storylines would be great. It'd be great for the fandom. Fantastic for the fandom. And Legends fans would be happy. That was a big, long answer for nothing, wasn't it? Have there been any new EU stuff since 2015? Depends on, George, depends on who you ask. There have been, well, there's been some of the Old Republic short stories. There's been a few Fantasy Flight stuff that came out after the Switch. And then all the rest of it has been unpublished or republished either on StarWars.com, AbleGPenius 2 stories, or StarWarsTimeline.net, published all the unpublished hyperspace. Blah, blah, blah. And now, did you see Joe's putting out the hyperspace comic strips now too? But all the unpublished stories have been up there. And as far as I know, that's it for unpublished stories. So Joe, you know what? Joe may have some other stuff. I'm not sure. I know someone who has some extra something he wrote for. Who was it? Hyperspace or The Insider? I can't remember. And it was a short story. It's a follow-up to an adventure journal story. I can't say anything else, but I think I convinced him to release it. He's going to give it another look over and go with it, but he's decided to open up the door to give us that short story. It's no one big, but it is an adventure journal sequel that was written but never published. So we'll see how that goes. I think I did it. He was saying no to a few people, and I think maybe I convinced him. If not, I'll just call him again. So anyway, we'll see. I'm excited about that. But it's just unpublished stuff right now, George. Oh, Matt, trying to get my friends into the EU, but they don't trust any of the post-Jedi stories after Disney let them down after episode 7 and 8. What books do you think you would redeem that era for them? Post-Jedi? Throne Trilogy. That's what I started my buddy Dwayne off with. And he actually told me, Matt, this feels like Star Wars. This feels like this feels like the original trilogy. I was like, yeah, I know, doesn't it? And he's like, I mean, I'm just loving it. So yeah, I'd go with that, and then go to Truce of Pecora, which I think was fantastic, and then keep going. Just keep going through the Bantam era. That's a great post-Jedi era. Is a great era to start off in. If you like anything post-Jedi, I can't wait to review those books. Do you think Mace could have survived an attack on the Ewoks? Do you think Mace could have survived attack on the Ewoks? What does that mean, X-Ray? Mace, I'm guessing Mace Tatwani. Do I think he survived? No, I think he's dead, because Sindel, when the happy ending happened, where was he then? He would have been around, right? He wouldn't have been injured and maybe captured, left in the dungeon. That's kind of harsh. You could say that, though. If you wanted to bring him back, you could. You could say he was captured by the Marauders, put in a separate cell, and when all the Ewoks escaped, they left poor Mace there, and he grew up, and he became leader of the Marauders. He lost his what's it, humanity. Ooh, that's dark. No, I think he died. That's a dark story, though. I kind of like that idea. What is your favorite board game right now? Come on, man. You know what I'm doing. I just finished up. I love Snoopy. I love the board game question. I just finished up my Stratomatic season. My team didn't even make the playoffs. We missed out on the World Series last year, and we couldn't even make the playoffs. It was a hard. I mean, we had an outside chance. We had to win the last 3 games. We won 2 of them. We had to lead in the 3rd game, and then we blew it. And even at that point, I think it would have been a toss-up because it would have been we would have tied with another team, and I think they even beat us in the tiebreaker. So I don't think we even had a chance to make it in that last week. So disappointed on that. But we had a new champion. My cousin's team won. It's the first time ever I think they've made the playoffs, and they won. They just had a solid team this year. So I love baseball. So Stratomatic baseball for me would be good. I did my top 10. What was it last year? So I mean. Twilight Imperium, we played. I tried to get a game this week at spring break for my nephews, and I wanted to get together and have them over for a big game of Twilight Imperium, but they could not make it. We played it this past week, but I wanted to get another game in because we played it 2 times already, 2 or 3 times. I'm trying to get 3 to 4 plays on that Twilight Imperium game. So that's a big one I love. There's a lot of games I love. There's what games did I just get in? Oh, there's a game that's supposed to come in today that I played at the game fair, and it didn't come in. I was super bummed. I gave it I ordered the FedEx that ships to U.S. Postal Service that lets the U.S. Postal Service deliver it because it's cheaper. I was stupid. Because it's set in Dallas for 3 days and no one knows why. It's set in Monroe for a whole day. It didn't even get delivered. We didn't even get mail delivered at our house. Our mailman is like the laziest person in the world. He delivers like after 5. I mean, now maybe you're like, well, Matt, that's when all mail gets delivered. But I've never seen a mailman show up. The one day he showed up at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. delivering. Today he didn't even bother to show up. And I know we always get some sort of mail, but he didn't bother to show up today. So I don't know what that dude does, but it's due to come in. It was supposed to come in, let me see, Saturday, and then got booted to Monday, and now it's gotten redone and it's been in Monroe for, it came in at 5 o'clock this morning. It was out for delivery today, and then it went, nope, it's back at the office. It'll be delivered tomorrow. Joke. Post office is a joke. But anyway, love me some Stratomatic. Have you read Crisis on Infinite Earths? Yes, I have, and I love it. I have the original comic books from Crisis on Infinite Earth. I love that story when it came out. It was a big story back then. Ron Mars, who's written some Star Wars, he did a good job in that. Yeah, I mean, Barry Allen dying in that one. That was my favorite. He is my Flash, is Barry Allen. And that's one of the heroes they really haven't brought back, surprisingly. So, yeah, Infinite Earth, great one. Do the Indiana Jones books and comics? Oh, no, Snoopy left off the rest of us. Yes, they all are in continuity with one another. In fact, George did have rules for the Indiana Jones books, too. And there aren't as many. In fact, I did a calculation. It would cost me $300 to $400 to get the entire, I mean, all the comic books, all the books, all the children's books. It wouldn't cost that much. I mean, $300 to $400 is really, that's probably a lot. But the thing is, though, I did think about buying it. But after reading the first, Relic, a friend of mine gave me the first 2 books. After reading those, it was okay. But Indiana Jones is someone you probably need to see on the screen better than he is in a novel. I'm not saying the novels are bad. The novels were fun to read, but I just don't know. And by the way, Relic, I gave those to Bruce like years ago, and he still hasn't read them. Just saying. Did you like Triculus? Yes, I did. I can't wait to review the Jedi Prince series. I would trust anyone. I would trust anyone with the main EU canon. It would be the ones running the expanded universe site creator. Hey, yes, it should be us. Actually, how much can I talk about here? I you know, I wrote some fan fiction a long time ago, and I may put that up. I may put some of the fan fiction up that I like the best. It's maybe something I could do on the site. Start putting up some fan fiction that I really enjoyed. See if you enjoy it too, and put up my own fanfic there and see how you like it. And maybe if so, write more. Now I've actually been given thumbs up by a few editors that they would help edit it, and I mean, like, check it for continuity and everything. So we could really have some good things, but just the question is how deep is my talent? Probably not that deep. I mean, everyone's their worst critic, I know, and maybe I should release my own fan fiction, and then you can see for yourself. You're like, well, yeah, Matt, that was okay. Yeah, I maybe could have written for the Adventure Journal, maybe a little short story on hyperspace. Could have done a real big book, a novel. Who knows? But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see, George. George Lucas can review our EU fan fiction. He's available. Yeah, that's true. He is. What's the line between person doing something atypically and being out of character? Oh, Brandon, that's a great question. Ooh. You know, I can't speak on that because I don't read the new canon. I do hear that Quinlan Vos is out of character, but I don't know what makes him out of character. That is a great question. I'm trying to think of another genre where I can, another franchise I can talk about where the characters feel off. I can't really. In the EU, man, that's a tough. I'm sorry, Brendan, I can't answer that one. That's a really good question, though. I'll have to think of a question. Let me think of an example. I know there's an example of the EU where a character was written where they were being out of character. It didn't feel like them. I'll give you one. It was an unpublished novel. It came out on Joe's site, and it has Professor Hoole in it. And I made a comment that Hoole was acting very irrational, like angry and slamming his fist down and yelling. And I was like, well, that's not how we see Professor Hoole in any fiction. And he is way out of character in that way because he's we'd never see him angry, upset, you know, or anything. And it seems like if he was to argue, even among his peers, he would definitely be cool. In fact, who would probably be the coolest one in the room just because that's his character. And so that's completely turnaround character. Again, John Ostrander said something about Quinlan Vos. So that's by name, that's Quinlan Vos, but some of the actions, some of the behaviors is not Quinlan Vos. So he thought he was completely out of character, but I can't really say what that was because I didn't read those books. All right. What about all this talk? What about all this talk? What about all this talk of the Old Republic ending this year because Lucasfilm might take the Star Wars license away from EA? Do you think there is truth to this? Who knows? I have no idea. That's weird, right? If they want to take the license away from EA, why do they close LucasArts? I still don't understand that. John, it mind boggles me why Disney wouldn't want to have everything in-house with LucasArts. I did not get that, so I don't know. All right. Whoa, I am way behind. That is nice to know. What do you think about hyperspace anomaly at the edge of? What do you think? What do you think the hyperspace anomaly at the edge of the Star Wars galaxy is? Vong territory. You spoke in your thoughts on the Clone Wars, but I want to know what you think of the actors who took the characters in Clone Wars, such as James Arnold. Oh, the voice actors, they were okay. I mean, they were okay. To me, it wasn't. Yeah, I'll say this: it wasn't about the voice acting because you could tell that wasn't Anakin from the movie, right? You could tell that wasn't Obi-Wan, even though it was a good impression. You could tell those characters weren't from the movie, but that's not important. What's important is, are the characters written in a certain way that make you feel like they're part of the Clone War, the prequel trilogy? And sometimes, half the time exactly, those characters not feel that way. Now, is that the voice actor's fault? No. I thought they did a fine job, but to me, it doesn't really matter. There's very few voice actors that I really appreciate. That is something that I don't recognize as much. Like a lot of you folks, probably when you watch a movie, you don't listen to the musical score, do you? I listen to the score in the background to say, "Ooh, who did this?" And I can already tell listening to it. This is Danny Elfman. This is James Horner. This is, John Williams. I can tell who the artist is just by listening to the background score. I'm like, yeah. And I'm big into composers. I love modern day composers. I think they're fantastic. I love listening to soundtrack musical scores. Now, that's me. Now, a lot of people love voice actors and they're really big into them. I'm not one of them. So for me, they did fine. Will you ever visit Mark Hamill's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Sadly, no. I wish I could, but I probably won't. Wow, 9 p.m. the postman comes to your place, Snoopy. That's incredible. Maybe he's coming right now. Maybe he's coming in a few minutes to deliver my mail. All right. Let's see. Wait, any more words and thoughts on Canadian Jedi Apprentice novel series? What are your favorite from the Star Wars? I'm sorry, Michael, I don't understand the question. What are my thoughts on John Williams music? Speaking of John Williams, Curtis, what are my thoughts on John Williams' music scores in the original trilogy? Also, would you ever take submissions for EU fan fiction on your website? Curtis, yeah, sure, submit it. Submit the fan fiction. That's fine. I'll read it. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. I mean, there's some good fan fiction out there. I've read it. I've read a little bit. I've collected it a little bit, and I should share that with you to kind of see what kind of caliber we're looking for. But yeah, and if you don't mind, Ms. Spencer, you're gonna have to tell him that I think I give constructive criticism. Constructive meaning I'm not trying to down you. I'm trying to help you out because I want everyone to improve. And by no means am I the expert in it either. I haven't written anything but dinner theater scripts and officially. So I would like to try my hand at a short story. The one I had, it's been a while since I've read it, and I did give it to someone, but they haven't looked it over yet. Someone a little bit more into authority than me, just to look it over. But yeah, I pitched some ideas to a few people, and we'll see where it goes. But anyway, so yeah, submit it. Let's see. What are your thoughts on John Williams music scores for the original trilogy? I love them. I even like the prequel music. Do I like that even better? I don't know. John Williams does a fantastic job. The music for the prequels just shone, but in the original trilogy, it's fantastic too. They're fantastic soundtracks. Matt says, "Have I ever read a Star Wars book?" No, not really, man. I haven't. Matt, have you ever thought of creating audio dramas based on the EU books for fun? That'd be fun, but I do not have the resources for that. That'd be so much fun. But no, that'd be fun. An audio drama, right? That'd be awesome. What would be the best, worst era to live in the Star Wars universe? Best era, well, obviously the worst era, New Jedi Order, you'd probably get killed. Best era, I don't know. After Fate of the Jedi, because as far as we know, nothing happened until Legacy. I don't know. You probably want to see Luke and Leia in their prime, right? So the Bantam era, maybe, or unless you like Young Jedi Knights is pretty harmless overall. That'd be a nice one. Do any classic EU authors still write books? Can you recommend some of their non-Star Wars? Hoth Rebel. Kevin J. Anderson does. He also writes for the Dune series, and Dune is fantastic by Frank Herbert. If you haven't read it, I really like it. It can get a little weird. I'm trying to think of the book. Oh well, book 2 everyone says gets weird, but I thought it got weird on book 4. But I still enjoyed it. And then when Kevin J. Anderson and his son picked up the storyline, I thought it went to fantastic. But if you want to read, I will give you a suggestion here. I'll give everyone some reading here. It's an ebook. It's a trilogy of, what's it called? The Silo series. I can't remember who wrote it right now. Wool is the first one. Dust is the second. I can't remember what they are. But anyway, they're one-shot names, and there's just three little ebook short stories. They're fantastic. Just type in Silo series for books. Silo, S-I-L-O. Fantastic. Read those. Unbelievably good. Unbelievably good. My brother told me about them. All right. Spencer, have you ever played whoa, where did you go, Spence? Uh-oh. I lost your hello. Where was this? Hunter, I really wanted to answer that question. I lost it. Have you ever played the board game Century Spice Road? Played it yesterday. Own it. Probably getting the sequel or the expansion to it. Even though it's a standalone game, it can also go with Century. I love Century Spice Road. I think it's a fantastic game. Spencer, watch my top 100 board games of all time. Century Spice Road was on there. I think I even have it in one of my favorites, my playlist. Anyway, so yeah, Century Spice Road, great. I saw the previews for the expansion, and it looks nice. It looks nice. I will probably go ahead and get it. It's a fun game. I like Splendor better, just barely. But Century Spice Road, great game. All right. There are still expanding universe fans from Canada, Norway, Sweden. Okay, they know this. Okay. If the Legends books were made into a film, John Williams is unavailable. Who would you want to score the film? Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman does dark stuff, so maybe have him do Use Your Order. Wouldn't that be awesome? It won't ever happen, but wouldn't that be awesome? Will I be going to Star Wars Celebration this year? I don't know. Where is it? Probably not. I want to, though. Do you think Jeremy is awake right now? Absolutely not. Do you think God exists in the Star Wars universe? No, they don't really mention religion that much in it. And to my knowledge, no one made a comment about it, but a Christian has written big novels for the Star Wars universe. And I'll let you guess who it is, because I know by the writing. There's one book that they wrote, and I knew exactly. So, wait a minute. Because they were talking about how the Jedi's values emulate Christian values in a lot of ways, which they're kind of right. And they made a comment, and I was like, wait a minute. And I looked that author up, and sure enough, they were a Christian. But you can tell in their writing. It made sense, too. All right, what would it take to produce a Hollywood-quality, big-budget Star Wars Legends fan film with how much cinematography, acting, editing, writing, etc.? In other words, make our ideal Star Wars film. I would never want to, John, that's a great idea. I would never want to do that, A, because I don't think the fans would put it all together. And if they did, it would still feel like a fan film. And if it looked too good, Lucasfilm would sue. That's usually how big studios do now. Whoa, what happened? Come on, man. All right. Do you think people give Hayden Christensen a hard time on his acting? I felt after reading some of the books, he felt pretty spot on. Hayden Christensen and everyone who's involved with the prequels They fell into the same trap. It was just George's bad directing. I mean, you look at Natalie Portman; she's won awards. Liam Neeson's fantastic in everything he does. Ewan McGregor, unbelievable in Big Fish. Hayden Christensen, I just saw Awake a few months ago. It was a good movie, and he was in it. He did fine. So it just points to the director. If the director's no good, the actors don't know how they're doing. They can't look on the other end of the lens. The director has to tell them what to do, how to act, how to behave. And I think George did a terrible job directing the prequel. So yeah, I think Hayden gets too much unnecessary hate. Do you still get along with Sam Whitaker and Natalie Cox from back in the day? Sam Whitaker. I don't know who those people are. So no. No, I guess I don't know. Let's see. What do you think of the Sword of the Jedi book series would have been if it had never gotten canceled? It definitely would have held on to Jaina, and I was kind of thinking that Jagged Fails run the Empire now, and Jaina creates the Grey Knights that we see in the Legacy comic book. Oh, how cool would that be? Do you think Crate is still alive somehow and messing with Cade's mind from Legacy comic book? No, I think he's dead. I'm glad. If you had to choose, do you prefer Michael Stackpole's books or Aaron Alston's books? Ah, that's too hard. That's too hard of a choice. Aaron Alston was funnier. Michael Stackpole was more in depth and serious. A great mix of the. I mean, they both had their seriousness and their comedy. But Aaron Alston did comedy better. But Michael Stackpole did some very good moments. They both had great moments. I don't know. That's hard to choose between those two. Maybe Stackpole right now, but that could flip. That could flip in a heartbeat. If the Empire had won the Galactic Civil War, could they have defeated the Yuuzhan Vong when they invaded? Sadly, yes. I think this was debated in some of the books. Like, Palpatine would have had the Death Star around. He would have had the Galaxy Gun. He would have had all these super weapons that would have immediately wiped them out. How do I know super weapons work? Because Centerpoint Station worked. And so he would have obliterated a portion of the galaxy along with the Vong, but he definitely would have just slaughtered the Vong. I think that's true, sadly. Oh no! Where did that go? Every time I scroll down, I lose it. Where are you? Matt, you have talked down on the Lord of the Rings movies. Why don't you like them? They suck. That's why. Yeah. Visually speaking, they are beautiful. They are beautiful. The acting is great. Story, man. I'm a big fan of the books. You don't mess. I personally hate it, despise it, when a movie thinks we can do better than the book, because you can't. You can't. How many Harry Potter fans can say that the movies were better than the books? The number is 0. Okay? I can't see some guy's going to say, oh, I love the Potter movies better than the books. No one says that, because there's tons of great stuff that they left out, cut, or changed from the novels, and that's the reason we like the book in the first place. So that Peter Jackson thinks he's doing it homage by making it look nice. They're very pretty. I wish I could watch them again, but I get so ticked off about how far they strayed from the story at times, how they switched the characters. Gandalf, what the heck? Sometimes he and who was it? Wasn't Gimli? It was Gimli. Their roles reverse in one scene during Fellowship of the Ring, and it made no sense. It made absolutely no sense why they did that, and it bugged me. And I used to have a roommate, and I miss that dude. It's one of the few reasons I want to get on Facebook, because I want to find him again. And he and I were friends. We both loved Tolkien, and we watched Lord of the Rings when it came out in theaters, only to mock and laugh at the movie because we thought they were so bad. And he was a friend. He was a friend for me because we both hated Fellowship of the Ring. We saw Two Towers together, laughed about how bad it was. I mean, we were kind of jerks, I guess, when you think about it. And then we went to go see Return of the King, and I did it because I liked him. Now, when The Hobbit came out, I looked everywhere to try to find him. I tracked down friends to see if they had his number. No one did. They thought he moved away to Texas. I tried tracking him down there. I just lost track of him because I would have, even though I did not want to see those Hobbit movies, I wanted to see them with him. Now, I did eventually watch the Hobbit movies, and they were even worse, if that's possible. But it's sad. It's sad because it's such a great story, and I don't. You can bring that story to film, but don't think you can do better than the actual best-selling novel. That just irks me. I know a lot of people love it. They love. Well, I'll be surprised this time. Yeah, you'll be surprised how much it sucks. I don't know. Just for me, it's just not worth it. Do you believe there's a Norse mythology established in Fate of the Jedi trilogy universe when Luke and Ben are searching for Abeloth? I can see where you're trying to make that connection. I don't think so, but I don't know what they created in mind. So maybe I can see where you're saying that. I don't think so, but I can see where you get that. Oh my goodness. Oh my stars and gardeners. Are we over time? Yes, we are. All right. Let's see if I can do a few more here. Matt, do you think Lucasfilm and Disney are going overboard with suing people? Yeah, man. That's just ridiculous. You have tons of money. I mean, there's times you should sue people, but like, oh my goodness, they're dropping the hammer. They're a little bit more. They're hostile to the fans these days. Isn't that weird to say? They're more hostile than happy with the fans. That's weird. Will you give Hasbro $500 for a Jabba sail barge toy? Heck no. What is your favorite one of the Stackpole X-Wing novels? Off the top of my head, I think it was Iron Fist. I can't be sure, but I think it was Iron Fist. What would you call the darkest Star Wars book ever? Star by Star, easily. That book is dark. If Disney kept or you know what? Wait a minute. What is that? What is that series called that happened in between? Dark Nest trilogy is pretty dark too. Anyway, boom, 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 boom. What are we getting? If Disney kept the EU official canon, what do you think Episode 7 would be like? Good. Still a long question to ask. What do you think Star Wars Galaxy may be like 1,000 or more years at the Battle of Yavin? Galaxy may be like 1,000 more years at the Battle of Yavin. What stories would you like to see in wide open territory? You know what? Chic Jeans and John, I believe I've answered this question before on what I think I would do with the Star Wars universe. Just in a nutshell, I would have pushed it, just like you said, John, I would have pushed it 1,000 years out there. Clean sheet, new villains, not the Empire. Maybe the New Republic is now getting to deteriorate. You know, history is repeating itself after so many years. And now they're having issues again. And now there's been a prophesied new one, but the prophecy is fake. You know, we found out that Sith have been just promoting this prophecy to get the Jedi all in the hussy over it. So maybe turn things a little bit on its ear, and the Jedi are trying to not fall back on the same path that repeats history, but they slip into that path and then get themselves back up. Maybe that's an idea. All right, folks, I'm sorry. That's all I have time for. Hey, guys, as always, this is the best time of the month for me. I really, really, really enjoy doing these live Q&As. I cannot wait for the next one, which will be next month when I get back from all my business trips. Got to hit the road again for the company. Anyway, hey, gang, see you later. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Have a happy St. Patty's Day, and I will see you later.